trending now.
It's the bomb, yo. Wake up and don't sleep on a bicycle.
Next.
This is Eagles Morning Rise, where you get inspired, updated, talk sports, and discuss topical national issues. All served hot, like coffee.
Yummy.
This is gonna be the best day of my life.
Eagles Morning Rise with
Natural Prince.
6 a.m. to 10 a.m. Every weekday on your number one radio experience.
You can count on
Eagles 102.3 FM.
Good morning, and thank you for staying with us on your radio experience. You can count on. It's time for Eagles Outlook, and it seems like the holiday came with something good for those for the police officers in Nigeria. Starting 2020, we see that they're going to have a pay rise, the 20% pay rise, come January 2022. Sounds so good. Like, I mean, a lot of Nigerians have welcomed this, and I'm hoping that the police are also happy about this, and that it would, also better their service to Nigeria and to Nigerians as well. We'll be talking about this morning with Barrister Olarewaju Omotayo Ojo, who is a legal practitioner as well as public affairs commentator, joining us this morning. Barrister, good morning. Thank you so much for being here.
Good morning, Nacho. Good morning, Abuja.
And well,
compliment of the season as well.
Compliment of the season to you as well. Thank you for the gift. By the way, you brought me a gift. Those of you who are watching, us live, you can watch us live. Don't forget, on our Facebook at Eagles FM Abuja, as well as YouTube at Eagles FM Abuja. See what's happening in the studio. Now, you can be a part of the conversation this morning. Call 090-7353-0044 and 090-8766-8888. Send us a message on 090-9705-4450. Now, Barrister, it came to me as good news. I don't know about any other person, but to see that the Nigeria police would be at least appreciated to the point where they're getting a 20% pay rise. And because over time we've lamented in the salaries, nothing to write home about, and it's been the excuse for a lot of people as to why there's a lot of high-handedness in the police, and why the police would extort people on the roads and collect money. And these days it seems like outright begging. When they see certain cars, they stop them and God boys, and there's really no dignity in that, if you ask me. And I'm worried, but I'm grateful to see that there's going to be a 20% increase and in the salaries, and then there's also the duty tour, 6% duty tour allowance accruing to them, and that's just amazing. When we criticize government, sometimes we also need to applaud them when they make certain moves. The FEC, that's the Federal Executive Council, approved this, and with immediate effect from January, it's going to take effect, and that's a good thing. As a lawyer, how did it come to you, seeing as how you deal with the police almost on a regular basis? Okay, now what are some of the issues that you would want to see change with the police? Let's start from there, because as a lawyer, I'm sure you have issues that you've always experienced and you wish they were never like that. Do you think that these salary increments would in any way affect a change in that regard?
Well, honestly, for me, I think basically it's a step in the right direction. The issue of welfare basically is actually like a sport for anybody, basically to actually get them to do more. To whom much is given, to definitely you can actually now demand for them to do better. So basically, in terms of what do I actually change as a person that the police could actually do better? Now that we have a pay rise as in from the government. One of the things the police should do correctly is basically in terms of their investigation. I think one of the things as well that should actually happen immediately is actually retraining. I was actually having a conversation with a colleague of mine, and I said, since I'm very sure that after the police college, that was the last time most of them actually go back again to the firing range to probably check how good, in terms of the shot and all that, in terms of retraining the police, because the world has actually moved beyond where we are right now, and the police must actually move along with that trend. We move along with the trend in sense that, not just stop police. And like you mentioned it, they meet you you stop at the particular checkpoint, and the next thing that happens is that they say, oh, Ogasa, Tuali, what do you have for your boys? How can the police be your boys? These guys are meant to be in charge of your security. So I expect that there's going to be more dignity in terms of the police. They are going to, especially now that they are going to have more money with them. And also the retraining is actually very key. I think that basically sums it up for me. If you do a bit of retraining, investigation definitely is going to be affected. The way they actually, take up crime and the way they actually investigate it as well, is going to, all this basically is going to actually come into play. So I expect that the moment this is actually being done by government, I expect that the police also should do theirs in terms of retraining. To be very frank, the kind of equipment that our police are using today is a eyesore. It's actually not befitting of any police in the world, and one of the things is that now that they have this particular stuff, government should support also in terms of equipping the police. And to be very frank, I am of the opinion that the issue of government increasing their salary is not just it at all. We must go back to the place of community policing. We must go back to the place of community policing. If we get to that particular point where we have community policing, then we can actually have the way crimes are right now is actually relative. People probably know each other, and the kind of crimes that actually happen are right. It's basically, it depends on the territory, it depends on the zone. So one of the things that community policing is actually the solution to the police. Do you understand? Now, for instance, government has increased their salary. What is happening to the security vote? Government is looking for money everywhere. But I'm asking this question: what are the governors doing? What part of their security vote are they going to actually give back to the police? One of the reasons why they wouldn't give back in Yenacho is because they are not in control. And basically, they will tell you that, oh, the federal government controls the police. The moment I am not in the right book of the federal government, then the next thing that happens is that they will send them after me. But the issue is that if we have community policing, then the states are going to be involved. Banks are going to be involved. Communities are going to be involved. We have a lot of vigilantes and all security. Is because of the decay, and it's because of basically there is a lacuna in terms of the place of security. So I guess basically one of the things that should happen with this particular increment or this welfare package basically is that the police should do better, and basically government should sit down now with the governors. Let's talk about where do we go in terms of community policing so that we can get these issues right and in the right perspective. Government now probably are talking about issue of money. I'm looking at now you're talking about 20% in terms of salary, 6% in terms of digital allowance. Now they're going to pay pensioners. Those pensioners have not been paid since 2013. Here, Nacho, 2013 till date. So one of the things basically is that it is time for government to restructure, see police us from the central anymore. You understand? So this is one of the areas whereby this issue of welfare will be tackled, because then the state governors knows that they are part of it. Even private individuals now come in and probably start giving. There is a particular scheme, just to take us, there's a particular scheme called the Police Trust Fund. The Police Trust Fund till today has not been funded, because the problem has always been that at the central, government controls the police. So if you put a certain money to that trust fund, who will disburse the money? So, but the moment you have community policing, then the issue is that everybody who probably contributes to that can determine, police is not doing well in this area, can we get this thing done? Because he will place the pipe, takes the tone. That is the issue. So one of his friends basically are going to be paid better, but the issue is that what exactly is about retraining. They need to retrain them. We need to get to the community policing part, and we need to get to the issue where we need to support them in terms of equipment.
Talking of equipment, I'd love to take up on that. You know, I'm one person who has always conversed, look, let's have a situation where the Nigeria police do not have to carry assault rifles, like AK-47s and all in broad daylight walking around. You know, even in places where the police have, you know, handguns, you know, well hosted and all, you still have cases of extrajudicial killings and, you know, the police just shooting people at will. In this country, I feel like the reason we have more police brutality and all is because of the way that these people have, you know, have this access to this assault rifle. So I mean, you're looking at everybody, you're saying, what you're saying is a criminal who needs to be shot, you know, because that's what you have. That's the only thing you have, you know, as a police officer. Also, I like to see a police station that doesn't have all these manual records and papers and files and all that stuff, where people comes in and technology is available and they're recording your statement, you know, on camera, on tapes, you know, rather than have a situation where people are asked to write statements and then sometimes they can't write. Somebody is writing for them and writing whatever he or she feels. Correct. I mean, we should have a situation where you walk into a police station and you see a computer system that takes down records. That way we can actually track the records of, you know, crime and everything in our country. I don't know how that comes to you.
Yeah, Nacho, this is a journey. It's a journey. The first part you actually mentioned in terms of the equipment, you don't want them to hold assault rifles and all that. You know, the policeman is a part and parcel of the society. The orientation must not just start with the police. The orientation must start with the society itself. The issue simply is that now, for instance, now police supposedly are planning to recruit 10,000 people, constables, probably in January. With the level of unemployment, who are those here in Acho that you think will enter the police? Are they going to go there because they want to serve their fatherland or because they want to put food on their table? So one of the things basically why you have police assault, police brutality is because they are a product of the society. You know, with all due respect to the police, I'm not here to probably to support the police. I'm telling you that every time we look at these people, now this guy is frustrated, probably for years, no job, no employment. Now he's here, and all of a sudden somebody is challenging his authority. One of the things he has come to understand that the moment you put on the black and black, then invariably you have power over the next person. You know, the orientation is not there. And the society also, the moment you see the black and black guy, there is this particular kind of mindset that comes in entirely. So the orientation must start in terms of first, we as citizens, what kind of police do we want to see? And how good should we accost our police? Do you understand? When we get to that level, the next part basically is the part of retraining. And the police should understand that not because I have, that is the last resort. The first part is a conversation between the man. Even if the man is a murderer, you cut him in the heart. The first thing you need to do is have a conversation with him. The law provides that basically, so one of the things, that is the first part of it. But the issue simply is that the man is is a product of the society. The only thing he understands basically is force. So the orientation must start first from everybody. Second, the police must not take it to another level. How do we now have a police-citizen relationship? Then the last part which you talk about in terms of equipment, how do you record this? To be very frank, I'm part of the judicial process. In the court today, we still have that problem. This is FCT, for instance. I've been practicing the FCT for over 13 years. One of the things you will see is that most courts don't still have a recorder. So how come our police stations scattered around the city will have? So one of the things is that we need to understand that it is time for us to actually move with probably in Karamajinji, for instance, we'll have a recorder. You know, and maybe probably at night, some people will come to the place and come and loot those recorders away. What do you see about that? So there's a whole lot of reorientation that must happen between the citizen and also the police. So the equipment part is very important, but also what kind of people are you employing? The guys, you put a recorder, the guy doesn't even know how to use it.
We'll be talking about, the recruitment as well in a bit. Join the conversation 090-735-30044 and 090-8766-8888. This is Eagles Outlook on your radio experience you can count on. We'll be talking more in a bit. Keep it with us.
102.3 Abuja.
I can tell he's been lying and pretending that he's faithful and he loves you.
Hanging out with friends is such a hobby, but chilling with your girlfriends? Such a bolster. We talk about love, family, relationship, the shady, hilarious, fun, juicy, messy gossip in town. And the gentlemen aren't off the table. Girlfriends with Oli J, Mondays and Fridays at 1 p.m. Exclusive to Eagles 102.3 FM, Abuja.
When the sun comes up, you know that it's time for the Sunny Side Show. With the Sunny Side Show crew, Itodo and Nene.
My name is Itodo.
And my name is Nene.
Oh, wait, am I talking like this?
On the sunny side of things, weekdays 2 to 6 p.m. The Sunny Side Show. Tune in, you know you definitely want to.
Eagles Morning Rise. Eagles Morning Rise with
Natural Prince.
And you're
Eagles
into,
Morning Rise.
and you're on to Eagles Outlook on your radio experience. You can count on 9:23 is the time. We're talking this morning about the salary increments for the police, a 20% increase. Does the police welcome this? If you're a police officer, tell us about it. How do you feel about the announcement of a 20% increase in your salary come January 2022? Do you think it's good enough? Do you think it's too meager? What do you think in general? We should be concerned about the welfare of police officers, because these are people who are charged with the responsibility of protecting lives and property in our country. These are the people who should settle disputes. And if a person is not taken care of, if such a person is not taken care of, anything can happen. These are people who we've handed weapons, deadly weapons, guns. And if we don't take care of them, at the end of the day, we would have to bear the brunt. And so we're talking this morning with Barrister Olariwaju Omotayo Ojo, who is a legal practitioner and public affairs commentator, sharing thoughts with us, pretty interesting ones. You may want to join the conversation as well. Call 090-7353-0044 and 090-875-4450. Don't forget to go on our socials and watch us live at Eagles FM Abuja. Barrister Olariwaju, we're going to talk about the recruitment process. So the PSC and the police management have had a back and forth with the recruitment of police officers. We said we wanted to, recruit 10,000. The president ordered that 10,000, constables be recruited into the force. But then in 2020, that didn't happen because the case even went to court. Up to the Supreme Court level. At this point, we say we want to recruit more people in 2022. Do you see that happening? And what are the obstacles that you see as regards the recruitment of police officers in the country?
The issue of recruitment is actually long overdue. In 1984, when SARS was actually being set up by this president, then as a military man, when he set up the SARS, we had 370,000 policemen. As of today, the number of police, while I was listening to the Minister of Police Affairs, McGarry, one of the things basically that we have today is 350 is estimated. Probably with the NSAS issues, what happened then, we probably will have that particular number reduced greatly. And if you look at that ratio against the population, you understand clearly what the UN says is that you should have at least, against 100, you should have one policeman. So if you look at the kind of ratio we have as against the over 220 million Nigerians, then you have only 350,000. That is far way too low. So the issue basically where you have these two bodies basically fighting who is meant to be the one that will do this and all that is the expense is at the life of Nigerians. Because the issue is that if at every particular point in time recruitment is not done immediately, immediately then there is problem in actual. That is the way it is. So in 2022, the first thing the government is not even about they're talking about census. That is not the most important part. What is most important to us is actually for us to have a police basically that is not just well funded but well equipped, and also we have enough manpower. Because if we don't, all these issues that we see around the country basically will persist. Now we have our military all around all the checkpoints. Why? Because we have less manpower in the police. This is not what it's meant to be. Military basically is meant to actually be external forces, but now they are in because the police does not have the right manpower. So the issue of recruitment must actually be at the front burner of what the Mr. President must do early next year. So now the salary has been increased. Probably there's a bit of motivation for people to actually put as well to join. People who probably are going to go through one. My suggestion is that they must go through psychological test evaluation as well, because invariably you find some people probably drug addicts ordinarily, or probably is a drunkard that joined the Nigerian police. What do you expect? The guy,
I'm going to take you up on this. It's also the issue of people paying their way to join the force.
Yes, it's correct. It's all the jobs probably, I would say it's all the jobs probably in Nigeria. You pay your way to actually get the jobs done. But one of the things happened, and I would say this basically, I had a certain interaction with a police officer. I don't want to mention the office now, but one of the things that happened, the last recruitment that happened in the Nigerian police, they asked that everyone who intends to actually join the Nigerian police must have 2 shorties from the Nigerian police. So what that means is that the moment you join the Nigerian police, on me referencing you, one of the things that will happen is the fact that if there is any crime, if there is anything alleged that the person has done, I will be going down for it as well. So that means the moment you want to get this person in, the police officer must be sure that this man is not a criminal, that this man basically will come in the best of shape. So I think that particular model works for me, basically is good. That's number one. Number two, again, is that we can probably take it further as well, that these people must swear, and they probably, just like we'll have the code of conduct, they'll go before a judge and all that. So that can also happen in terms of that. But if we don't allow that to happen, or probably find people who probably are reputable to actually shorty them, one of the things is that you have all manner of hooligans, street miscreants coming to the Nigerian police, because they have the money to do that. So basically, in terms of recruitment, is another force on its own, which must happen, but how it's going to happen, we must look at it as well.
Now, still speaking of recruitment, there are times where you see police people who say that, well, the reason that the reason they do certain things, or when they joined the police, they were not like this. They didn't intend to be the way that they are. They came in and the structure or the system took them or got the better of them, because they have a situation where they have to, who, in his mind is coming to serve the country to the best of his ability, gets in, and the system does not allow him do that because, well, he says, I don't want to take bribes, I don't want to, extort for Nigerians, but then someone has to, take remittances, and for that reason, he doesn't have a choice but to do that.
It's the issue, the systematic problem basically is everywhere in our system. Like, for instance, civil service basically has its own systematic problem as well, and police basically is no exception. People come in to join to the Nigerian police, and the next thing that happens is that probably you are at a particular station, and that particular station is expected to probably block a certain place in the environment, probably a checkpoint. There are people that call for certain remittances back probably to the DPO. It's common knowledge. It's not new. You go to the police station, you want to secure the bail of a particular accused person or alleged suspect, and the next thing that happens is that, that particular person, bail is free, but Oga, you must pay something. Who are they giving the money to? So there's a whole lot of systematic problems. So there is the external and there is the internal. People come in, good guys who want to actually serve, and the next thing, the system swallows them up. because invariably it's either they are loyal to their superiors or and you know the way it is a security outfit. The moment you're not loyal to the superior, then definitely is the one that basically will give letters of recommendation or probably sign appraisal forms for you. So the next thing is that you must be loyal to the man, and he asks for certain remittances. People even want to lobby to become IGP. The next thing is that is lobby. You must probably meet politicians and all that, and you're not going to go there and go and say, oh, I am a patriot, I want to probably do this. No, you must go there with good brother must go. You understand? Somebody must speak for you. So these issues basically has become the same thing that bedevils us as a nation: corruption. So it's internal, it's external, the place of recruitment, and also even now that you are in the system. And you can imagine somebody who probably pays over 300,000 to be engaged by the Nigerian police, for instance. Then the next thing is that the first thing that should be at the back of his mind is what? To get back his 300,000. So invariably he goes there basically as a businessman, not basically with the mind to actually serve the nation. So this is a systematic problem which basically, like I said, the Nigerian police is part of the society as well. And these are the things that we must tackle as a nation.
Well said. We need to begin to tackle these things, and sometimes it just feels like, well, the rot is so deep, we can't even get out of it. But we hope that as time goes on, we can get it right, and things will begin to work better for us. We'll be talking about discipline in the police service. There's the famous issue of Abakari and the hush puppy issue. That's an issue of discipline. We'll be talking about that in a bit. Stay with us. This is your radio experience. You can count.
Eagles FM just clocked 1 year, and we have something special for you during this Yuletide season. Guess what? Not 10, not 20, not 30, but 45% off on all advert placements. Get 45% off on our 1 year anniversary discount. Promo runs from 6th to 30th December 2021. Take advantage of this mouth-watering offer.
Let's spice up your day. Tune in to a breath of fresh air. It's all fun and games until it gets extra and better. 102.3 Extra, weekdays 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. with Lee J. Cheers to something new.
Has anyone told you you can advertise your business on radio for just 15,000 naira? Get a chance to talk your business for 25 minutes on The Entrepreneur. Mondays to Thursdays, 3 p.m. on Eagles 102.3 FM Abuja. For more inquiries, call 090-9984-4433. 090-9984-4433. The Entrepreneur. Talk your business for just 15,000 naira from 1st December to 31st December 2021. Hurry now.
Eagles Morning Rise. Eagles Morning
Rise with
Natural Prince.
9:39 is the time. This is your radio experience. You can count on. Join the conversation now. Dial the numbers 090-7353-0044 and 090-8766-8888. Send us a message on 090-9705-4450 to be a part of the conversation this morning. We're talking about the police. Now is the time for you to jump in with your 2 cents. However you want to react to the conversation, feel free to join in. We're talking with Barrister Olarewaju Omotayo Ojo, who is a legal practitioner and public affairs commentator, talking with us this morning. Now, as a person who has dealt with, the police for quite a while, what kind of discipline would you say the police needs? Because we've seen situations where it seems like there's really no punishments for erring officers. People have alleged over time that if a police officer commits a crime, for instance, shoots somebody to death and all, the worst that happens is that they're transferred. A lot of times they're not prosecuted. A lot of times they're not even fired. We're talking earlier about the Abakari situation. Almost 6 months after, there's just a report that's been sent to the Police Service Commission, especially the disciplinary committee. These are issues that the world needs to see and understand that Nigeria is, serious about its policing. Let's have a quick decision. Why do we have the delay? Because you know how they say sometimes justice delayed is justice denied.
Correct.
How would you respond to the issues of discipline in the Nigerian police?
Well, issues of discipline is actually very important, especially within the police. You remember clearly, I think this Abakari's issue is actually not the first. We had the Apo 6. It took almost like 3 years. Finally, the report came out. Nigerians actually had even forgotten about the case after a while. Now we know that the guy basically has been given, the police officer has been given, is now a AIG within the Nigerian police. And all the investigations, all the things that actually, went down through that particular investigation, indicted this particular police officer. But the issue is that time has passed, they redeployed him somewhere else and all that, and the man is back basically within the police. So rank and file of the police. One of the things basically I think is also about the issue about the godfatherism. It happens almost everywhere. Within the police, within the civil service, we have this particular is a particular plague that affects us as a nation, and we should take issues as the moment the Abakari issue even came up. The first thing I expect that the president would do, in as much as there is a place for fair hearing, but first is that Abakari should step aside 201%. And one of the things that should happen immediately, because if the United States are saying, please give us this guy, we have substantial evidence, and these are the same people you go back to meet and tell them, oh, I am serious, I want you to come and do business here, and they said, we have seen one of your police officer who has erred in his interaction with a criminal, please release him to us. And you're saying, oh, no problem, we will investigate. With all due respect, I understand the place of investigation, but the issue is that the timeline of this investigation is, they need to understand that it has moved from a local problem, it has become an international dimension. So what they need to do is that any committee probably sitting on that particular issue should maximum 1 month, and invariably the report is back. We don't even know what the report is saying. As the report indicted him, no. So basically we're waiting for the police service commission to actually come up with a statement, or probably talk about how to order punish, or probably they will, reinstate him. So one of the things basically is that the place of discipline is very important in whatever you do, even within our small offices. One of the things basically, the place of discipline is what keeps an organization and keeps a system more effective than ever. So I expect that same thing to actually happen with them. Now, more money has been given to the Nigerian police. So one of the things we will not be doing as citizens is that we're going to be calling for more work from the police. We'll be calling for more decency within the police, because now you're saying, because we go to the same market, for instance. So the man basically doesn't have the purchasing power that I have, but now he has been given more money. So we expect that now he should be decent enough to actually be able to conduct his affairs and his investigations properly. So the discipline part is very important, and that's why I said retraining is key in this part. The moment you're giving the man more money, okay, I understand that is the way you do things yesterday, but starting from today and moving forward, things have to change, because we want a better Nigeria. So I think the discipline part is key, and they must reorientate the Nigerian police.
Absolutely, reorientation is key. What do you think, or how do you welcome the police salary increments, 20% coming in January for the police, also a 6% digital allowance increase for the police in the country? How do you welcome this? What are your thoughts on this? We'll bring in a caller. The numbers to call is 090-7353-0044. Okay, seems like we lost connection with that one. Try to call us back again, 090-7353-0044 and 090-87668888. We have a few more minutes to wrap this up and be a part of the conversation now. Send a WhatsApp message or an SMS to 090-9 09087054450. Do you think that the police would act better now or serve better with the coming increment in 2021 now, 2022? Now, before now, there was a memo purportedly, released or sent from the Minister of Police Affairs, stating that the police would not be paid salaries in this November and December, and a lot of us got worried, because a man who receives salary and he hasn't acted well or acted right, what's going to happen when he does not receive a cover at all?
More checkpoints.
Yes. And then let's marry that as well with the fact that the National Assembly is calling for the what do you call it, or whatever it is now, within this yield side. How do you react to that? Because the more people are saying at this time we need more people, we need more police and security agents on the roads. What's your thought on that?
No, honestly, I feel basically they are quite hasty about that decision. Roadblocks to actually be there, basically to assure people that their lives are actually very important, and asking that those roadblocks will actually be unmounted or be removed totally. I don't support it, to be very frank, because one of the things, basically the idea behind the National Assembly saying that is that so that one, so the roads will be free, number two, again, so that probably they won't extort people. But the issue simply is that what is the place of security? Where is the place of security? So the whole thing is bad, let's just demolish it. How many people? I know very well that especially in this year, we're not going to have a lot of people that are going to travel because people are scared to actually go. A lot of things is happening around the Zaria Kaduna Road and a lot of things around the Lokoja. So 101%. The place where the minister said November, December, he has come out to refute that particular statement, and I think basically I respect that as well. There have been rumors that probably the government is broke, that basically they can't pay salary. We all know that, but the issue simply is that, like I said, let's go back to the place of the police trust fund. Police trust fund. We have a lot of security, mushroom security outfits which are coming out. It's because there is problem in security. If the police are probably up and doing, or probably, we don't need all that. Basically, all we need basically is the individuals will contribute. Companies will contribute, banks will contribute to that trust fund. That is where we need to get to. We need to sit down again and look at this architecture. Is it going to work? Now salary has been increased. Government is crying they don't have money. How sustainable? How sustainable is this increment? That is exactly the question.
All right. We've taken your calls now. 09073530044 and 09087668888. Hello. Good morning.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Anacho. Good morning.
Thank you so much for joining us, Japheth. It's good to have you.
Yeah. This is Japheth. Long time. How have you been?
I'm very well. How have you been?
I'm good, Mr. Anacho.
Happy holidays. Go ahead. Let's hear you.
Mr. Anacho, see, let me tell something. Let me start from Nigeria. Mr. Anacho, hunger and starvation, do you know what it causes? You can cause civil war. Let's see it now. See, any other thing we are talking about in this country, Mr. Anacho, believe me not. If we can't take hunger and starvation out of Nigeria, Mr. Anacho, we are not even a step close to solving Nigerians' security and any other problem we are facing. Mr. Anacho, people are hungry. See, a hungry man is a desperate man. We all know that. Mr. Anacho, see, reform. See, the other thing I feel about reform of Nigerian police and judiciary. Even if we should reform Nigerian police and judiciary, we all know that there are two key aspects in every democratic government: to the police and the judiciary. Now, even if we for instance, we reform these two people, Mr. Anacho, if you can't take starvation and hunger out of Nigeria, Mr. Anacho, I bet you, there's problem.
All right.
I'm telling you.
Thank you very much, Japheth.
Yeah, and
go ahead quickly. Okay, seems like we had to. You had to go. Thank you very much. We're running out of time. The keep calls come in 09073588888. Before we go quickly, Barrister Olarinwaju, we need to talk about the fact that you mentioned earlier bail is free, and Nigerians need to know that bail is free. We've always hammered that. But then when you go to the police stations, like you mentioned, even as a lawyer, how do you end up when you have to bail somebody?
Most times, in this part they'll tell you bail is free. But the issue simply is that, except you want to keep the man there for a little longer. So one of the things that happen is that they will not tell you directly, especially since you have a lawyer involved, they will not tell you directly, but one of the things is that they move you to that particular point whereby invariably you will now say, oh, okay, what can we do to get this thing going? So that's where bail is free on the surface, but in terms of workings, it's not free.
That's quite sad. I hope that these things change as quick as possible. We just can't continue to live like this, and we would continue to talk about these things until there's a positive change. Thank you so much, Barrister Olarinwaju Omotayo Ojo. Thank you so much for talking with us today.
My pleasure.
And well, it will be time for me to hand you over to somebody different.
Great to be on the 102.3 Extra today.
That's what it is.
Yes, I'm here today to.
It's a manly energy.
Yeah, it is, right? It is. How you doing? What's
I'm
going
okay,
on?
man.
Great stuff.
How's the holidays coming?
Well, I'm right here.
Well, we would always
We are here. So we're going to have a good time regardless. Yes.
So what's happening today?
So today from 10 o'clock, we're doing the king and queen. So the first person to send the text in will be the king and or the queen. And of course, at 11, we're talking mind and body.
I'd love to see
what is wrong with
you? handle the king and queen
and
conversation.
At 12, we'll take the headlines for today, as well as have the king and queen have a conversation on the radio. And at 1 o'clock, it will be time for, weirdly enough, girlfriends. But I'm here, so I will make it.
The girlfriend's boyfriend is in the building.
Exactly.
Ladies
so we'll talk about something really important about ladies proposing to men. Oh yeah. So
I'd love to see that. I'd love to be a part of that conversation as well. All right, people. Thank you so much. That would be it. Itodo is taking over on 102.3 Extra, and well, I want to say thank you to Barrister Olarinwaju. Thank you. You brought a gift. Everybody, people, be like Barrister Olarinwaju. Bring me gifts. Bring me gifts. All right, my name is Iheanacho Prince. Keep it locked here on your radio experience. You can count on Business News is up next.
Eagles 102.3 Abuja. You ready for this?
Keep this frequency clear.
We're live. Eagles FM 102.3 Abuja.
Welcome to Eagles 102.3 News Beats. Here is the business news beats. The Debt Management Office has said the federal government is implementing several reforms to attract more investments into the country. The Director General of DMO, Patience Oniha, said this during the third edition of the Coronation Merchant Bank's virtual interactive session series themed Nigeria Moving Beyond COVID-19, Opportunities for Investors. While delivering the keynote address, she said the Nigerian economy remained resilient despite economic and social headwinds elicited by the pandemic. According to her, the composition and diversification of the country's gross domestic product and revenue base make for more stable growth going forward. The federal government has released a 1 billion naira seed grant to Nasarawa, Plateau, Adamawa and Kaduna states for the development of pilot ranch in their domains as part of measures to halt clashes between farmers and herders. It was learned that the fund was released after about 22 state governors indicated interest in developing ranches in their state. Senior Special Assistant to the President in Agriculture, Anu Kwaseri, told reporters that the federal government would start disbursing funds for model ranches in the next 1 week. Investors in the Nigerian stock markets gained 260 billion naira as 32 firms saw their share prices rise at the end of trading last week. The Nigerian Exchange Limited all-share index and market capitalization appreciated by 1.12% and 1.16% to close the week at 42,353.31 and 22.11 trillion naira respectively. All other indices finished higher with the exception of NGX Mainboard, NGX Banking, NGX Afrobank Value, NGX NGX Afri-Div Yield, NGX Merry Growth, and NGX Oil and Gas indices, which appreciated by 0.22%, 1.82%, 2.23%, 0.08%, 0.85%, and 0.57% respectively. The NGX Assam, NGX Growth, and NGX Sovereign Bond indices closed flat. A total turnover of 1.32 billion shares worth 15.33 billion naira in 18,282 deals was traded last week by investors on the floor of the exchange, in contrast to a total of 2.63 billion shares valued at 26.90 billion naira that exchanged hands in 20,848 deals the previous week. The Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency has renewed its revised offshore cargo handling and operations stevedoring rates following the downward review. According to the agency, this is contained in the second schedule of the Master Stevedoring Regulation rate of 6 months. In a statement, the Director General of the Master, Bashiru Jamo, said the idea is to make these unpleasant pandemic moments as friendly as possible to both businesses and the economy in general. The federal government's investment in road transport infrastructure has continued to impact positively on communities across the country. President Muhammadu Buhari has inaugurated the Kano-Maiduguri Road, Section 2, connecting Jigawa and Bauchi states. A statement issued in Abuja by the Federal Ministry of Works and Housing stated that the recently inaugurated 142.2-kilometer dualized road had increased to 5 the number of such roads completed and handed over to various communities in Nigeria within 3 weeks. It added that other roads so far inaugurated by the president within the period include the Sokoto-Tambuwal Jega-Kontagora-Mekara Road. The Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission has said the Republic of Benin, Niger Republic, and Togo